hello, and welcome back. With Halloween right around the corner comes a spooky edition of The Preferred Few. From busting ghosts to becoming one on the weekends, give it up for... Reese Eve Cocx, how are you?
I am fantastic, Shug. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good, pretty good. It is a very hot Alabama night.
It sure is.
We got the AC blasting like a mother, but you know, drag is very uncomfortable. So hopefully we're gonna get it together. But this is, I think, the first time in person, like officially talking and meeting. I know I've seen you perform quite a few times at Owls. I think the last time was that we were just talking about it, actually. Flapjack's viewing party for Can't Wanna Kiki.
Yes.
I think was the last time I saw you perform at Owls. And I honestly barely go out, but it's so fantastic. I know, like, it's too much, especially with the drama in the area, far too much. But it's fantastic to finally see you again and to have you. I was like, it's spooky season, so of course we gotta have, you know, and well, we're not gonna go with spooky, but up the alley of spooky. But we're gonna get in.
The chair, not me.
Yeah, it was the chair.
Yes, the chair.
Are you ready to shake the juice and see what comes loose with all these questions?
Gosh, yes.
So
Does the chicken have a pecker? Of course.
So we're gonna get into it. You're not originally from Alabama, are you?
Actually, I am.
You are.
My profile says I'm from
This is
Salem, Massachusetts, but
I was like, oh,
girl with
she's
this accent. No, I am
a-
from St. Clair County, Alabama.
So you are originally from Alabama.
Yes,
What
absolutely.
have you always been in, like, the northern Alabama area?
Yeah, well, yeah, central, northern part, yeah.
I'm assuming since you've always been in Alabama, you came to terms with your queerness in the state of Alabama.
Unfortunately, or fortunately, yeah.
How is it like were you openly queer when you went to Moody High School?
No, I wasn't. I honestly, I tried to hide it, just like, you know,
Yeah.
every kid in the 90s, or the 90s, we'll say early 2000s, because when I was in high school, it was like, I graduated in 03, so like, we just, you know, somebody's like, oh, you're gay, I'd be like, no, I'm not gay, and then you just hide it.
Yeah.
Right?
Where do you identify, like, on the queer spectrum? Gay?
On the spectrum, I'm gay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Full
like
gay.
G-A-Y gay.
Okay. I mean, at least we know. But you did go to Moody High School, correct?
Yes, I did. Moody High School, class of 03, baby. 03.
Were you openly out then?
No, I was not. I was not.
So it was
high school at all.
After high school that you came out?
Yeah, actually after college.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
it was later. Crazy.
Yeah, it was 2009. No, 2010. When I met my husband, Sam.
I was about to say, is that where
Well, now husband, Sam.
Sam, aka Sharon, came into the mix? Which, by the way, congrats to almost a 10-year marriage. That is,
you.
I mean, next year makes 10 years.
Next year makes 10 years.
That is crazy. Just to briefly touch on that, though, Sam, aka Sharon Cox, used to be in a part of the drag scene. No longer
Yes.
does drag, correct?
Yeah, no, as of this year, retired out of it.
Got you. So officially retired.
Not fully my story to explain or anything, but you know, things change, things happen, things evolve, and that's the beauty of drag. It allows you to find yourself. Sometimes you can lose yourself in that. So you know, taking a step back and trying to find you, and you know what makes you is kind of what they're focusing on right now.
Yeah, and I mean, you definitely, like, drag is a huge, like, you're putting yourself out there. Not only are you putting yourself out there, but you're doing yourself up and then putting yourself out there.
Yeah, you're wearing a mask and going out in public.
Yeah.
Usually we do that in haunted house, but not like.
So you got to make sure the base, of course, is strong. And
Yes.
I feel like definitely taking, that's what is needed. Taking a break and, like, fully focusing on yourself is always a good idea. Yeah. I've got to know who originally started doing drag first.
Sharon actually did first.
Got you.
Yeah.
Did Sharon pull you into it, or was it?
Well, here's the thing. Like, obviously Elvira is a huge.
Yeah.
I've said this, like, every time I've, like, been interviewed or in any pageant I've ever done. Cassandra Peterson is, like, my biggest inspiration.
Yeah.
She's actually two of them. But she is. That was a boob joke. But,
I was like, ooh, who's the other one? Definitely flew right over my head, but
yeah,
a
Elvira,
huge two of
how's
them.
your head, honey?
Not good. Several complaints.
Oh, okay. So you got what
Yeah. Several complaints.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've never had any complaints. every interview that I've ever seen Elvira talk, or Cassandra Peterson talk, she's always said, Elvira is a drag queen. She always will be.
Yeah.
In her book, she doesn't have to tug, but she's still a drag queen. And when I started seeing Elvira as this like drag entertainer, it opened me up to a lot of other things. So like, you'll ask local queens and a lot of people in the drag community who are their inspirations, and they'll say another drag queen, which obviously mine is, but mine's a bio queen.
My brother showed me Elvira when I was so young, probably too young to be watching Elvira. I was obsessed, and when she used to do like the horror movie like reviews and stuff yes, I've always been a fan. When I found out that wasn't like what she actually presented out as in like her day-to-day life, I was so blown away. And even more on top of it, when I found out she was a ginger, I was like, excuse me, what?
I always say never meet your idols. Well, I'm going to add to it, unless it's Elvira or Batman, obviously, but always meet Elvira. She is phenomenal. We met her at the haunt that I work at, and she was one of our special guests that weekend. And she showed up in this giant excursion gold Suburban from the airport, and had on a pair of mom jeans and a pink hoodie. And she got out of the SUV or the excursion limo thing, whatever it was. It was a motorized vehicle. It wasn't a broom, so I don't know it. She went into the haunt or into the facility and was like, "Oh, this place is so cool." And I will never forget this. This was one of my favorite things. She gets up on the stage where we had her set up and everything. She was like, "Oh, I love the throne." And then she complimented the candelabras, because we're going to back up on that story. I told our boss man, I was like, we cannot have Elvira on stage without candelabras. Like, they go together like flies in the undead. Like, you have to have Elvira and candles, obviously with the red couch, but obviously we're doing a throne at this point. She complimented on my candelabra. She was like, "Oh, look, candelabras." And I said, "Huh?"
It was the attention to detail.
It was. And I was so excited that she noticed that. So like, I was like, my job here is done. This house is clean.
When was your first like introduction to Elvira?
I was probably, I had to be at least like 4 or 5 years old. I was young. It was like 89.
So yeah, we were literally,
Because like,
I don't know if that's a good thing for us.
Well, my dad's always loved horror movies, and he's what introduced me into it. Like, one of the first horror movies I ever remember watching was Hellraiser, and it scarred me for life.
Elvira obviously was a huge inspiration with your drag. Was horror as like a whole a huge inspiration?
Yeah, scary stuff. Because like, growing up, like obviously, like as every kid of the 90s and early 80s, television was my babysitter a lot of the time. Not that I was left alone, but like mom would go outside and do like yard work or gardening. I guess it's yard work too. But dad was at work, obviously, and I was inside watching TV. And I grew up watching like one of my favorite movies as a kid was Garbage Pail Kids. Still one of my favorites now.
Oh my god. Oh my god. The inspiration of the horror though with your drag and the Elvira though, do you feel like that was all from a young age? Like, when did you officially start getting into drag?
I actually got into drag, I think, in 2012, maybe? Somewhere thereabouts.
So,
yeah, it had been a while.
12 years now.
Oh, God, yeah. Been that long.
Oh, didn't mean to out you like that.
No, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. Well, actually, how I got into it was, like, Reese's face was kind of carved out a little bit before it was actually called Reese. Or she was actually called Reese. We were developing a character in the haunt that was kind of like an Elvira-esque character. And I don't like in horror movies how always the female presenting character is the victim. I hate that because women empowerment. We need more of that. Always live for the final girl. But it's it's that same rocks that same blade of the machete. You got one side of it where they have to play the victim, like oh no, and then the next minute they're saving the day, which I love that part. But we wanted like this kind of crazed character. It's like she can be the villain too. Why not? And in the off season, I didn't have any face to paint on except for my own. And I kept thinking, well, how in the hell am I going to make this work? Because beauty makeup's obviously not going to work, but yes, it will if I make it higher contour or darker contour, higher contrast in the highlights. Because I know theater stage makeup, drag. That's how it works. So I just started doodling on my face.
I was going to say, you were also like in a theater kid too, weren't you?
Yeah. I was big in theater.
I ran into some photos when I was doing But the combination of the theater and horror, I mean, obviously it turned out to do some incredible gaggy things with the concept of Reese Eve Cocx. And I figured it was like, because drag to you, I'm assuming, is like character based. And
it
like,
is totally character based.
See, and I mean, like, I feel like that's a lot of like drag we don't have anymore. But yeah, crazy to think that, something that you started as, just an inspiration from a character such as Elvira, and then it, blew from that. And I mean, even with you were a cast member at Sharon's Drag Brunch, and then, as mentioned, a show director at our place. But speaking of inspiration, as someone who is heavily inspired by the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, or woman in my case, where does your love for Ghostbusters come from?
My childhood love for it, so the Ghostbusters, I told my mom when I was a kid that I was going to be a Ghostbuster when I grew up, and last year it actually happened. I met the Alabama Ghostbusters at Alabama Comic-Con, and they reached out to me and asked me to be part of their crew, and I was so gobsmacked when it happened. I was like, me? Like, I get to be a Ghostbuster for real? So I called my mom immediately, at 38 years old. I was like, Mom, I told you I was going to be a Ghostbuster when I grew up, and you told me that I couldn't, and I got news for you. I am.
I'm a motherfucking Ghostbuster. I live for that so much. I mean, I've always been obsessed with Ghostbusters. I've always had one, as mentioned, the marshmallow.
Everybody loves Slimer, but Stay Puft is my favorite.
I was literally about to say, when I get like into those manic moods, I'm a little bit of a Slimer myself. She leaks a little.
Ectoplasm,
everywhere.
Everybody's always wondered where ectoplasm comes from.
Much like Ghostbusters, you're an icon and a huge name in the scene. I mean, from big brunches to show directing and even haunting, you've done it all. But speaking of icons, we're going to go right back to it. Who is Willie Murder Me?
Reese talking. Willie Murder Me is my great uncle. He is, great. I mean, he's not that great of an uncle, but he's a great uncle. But he is the host of Friday Night Frights with Dr. Willie Murder Me and his nurse co-host, Nurse Connie Lingus.
I love that.
And they have a great little sidekick named Roadkill. He is the cutest big mouth skunk.
This is obviously yet another character that has come out of your insane reign of characters. What was the inspiration for Willie?
Willie, like legit, I truly don't even know where that came from. So he's a character I've actually done for about 20 years. He started out as a mad scientist, and my first year at Atrox, I just teased the crap out of my hair, made it real big, and painted my face. I don't even remember. I painted it to look dead. I do remember that. But all the like detailed line works and stuff with Willie's makeup has evolved to what it is from then. He was a alchemist, warlock, mad scientist who creates and recreated and reanimated his own self, after death. So it was just like, well, what would that be like? And would he be pissed off at everybody? Yeah, he would. So he thinks he's the funniest person in the entire world, but he's mainly full of bullshit dad jokes. So,
but speaking of Atrox, I mean, your love for all things spooky continues like every single season when it comes to your
mom.
Yeah. When it comes to, I mean, you get an incredible job that ties in with it as the head of makeup, correct, for Atrox, which is insane. And Atrox is a huge haunted attraction around, what's the exact location of Atrox? It's
Leeds, Alabama.
I was going to say, it's one of like the outskirts of Birmingham.
Yeah, I think the address is 8404 Parkway Drive, Leeds, Alabama.
That's how you know you love your job.
Yeah. But only, that, and because I had to put it into DoorDash the whole time. They've known it for 20 years. It's it's wild. You know, you're only with these people for a month out of the year.
I was about to say, does it only, like, I mean, of course you have to come in to like get the planning and stuff done. Yeah. When is y'all's like time of employment, I guess you would say?
We start doing auditions all through the summer.
Okay.
I think this is the earliest year we've done auditions, but we've got an amazing cast this year. I'm so proud of our Monster Mom, Christy. She is, she's been working her ass off, getting everybody hired, having these long interview nights. I'm flabbergasted, legit, on the size of our cast. Here recently, we've been starting probably around March.
I was about to say, that's what I would assume, like spring.
Yeah, we'll take like January, February off from everything, especially now that we're doing the Christmas show and all that stuff. Because we have a Troxmas that we do where we take a spooky twist on all of your favorite Christmas characters. So
I love that so much. Yeah. We're definitely planning a video of journeying to Aatrox. Of course, not going inside Aatrox, due to privacy purposes, but we got to make the cross connection of haunted house and drag, of course.
We love that. Like, come on and see. Who knows? You may bump into Great Uncle Willie while you're there.
I'm hoping and praying. Is the tie-in of the? I just have to know the tie-in of the nurse, because we also talked about it before we started filming. Is that like a? Do you get your everyday like love for? Like the horror scene with nursing? Because
absolutely
nursing,
not.
I was about to say.
The reason I got into nursing was because of my mother, but I've grown to love it, and I love my job. I have the greatest respect for my physicians. I can't think of that thing to say about anybody.
I never knew that you were a nurse either, like before, doing my deep dive, which also blew my mind. You went to Wallace as well, right?
I did. Wallace State Lines, baby. Woo! It doesn't look the same. Even the nursing school is not the same. They have like a mock hospital on campus.
Wow.
It is like a mini UAB up there. Like
that is so crazy.
Or should we say the Walker County UAB?
Walker County UAB. I cannot.
It's backwoods country. I'm just playing on people from Walker County. Us from St. Clair County do that. We mess with Walker County a lot. Folks from Jasper, it's all from the heart, we promise.
I'm not a good Jasper. I cannot. But with all of those crazy things going on in your life, are there any new projects? I mean, I know there are, with some, obviously Aatrox Halloween season is coming up, but what new projects can we see yourself being in the near future?
Well, Reese is more than likely going to be in the Christmas episode of Friday Night Frights, because obviously she gets to call her uncle whenever something goes down. Fun side note, this season of Friday Night Fright, grandmother, my great grandmother, Agatha Wood, is in Friday Night Frights.
Agatha Wood. I cannot.
She was a movie star back in the day.
Yeah.
And a centerfold for Hustler.
That's gag.
Yeah. She tried to come out in a kimono, but no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, like, it's so exciting. So like having that show Friday Night Frights, like, stay tuned, watch that. It's going to be a lot of fun. But as far as like big projects, there's really not a whole lot going on in like the drag community for me right now. I perform a lot in Huntsville. So
I was about to say the camp, correct?
Yeah, at the camp with Madge. I love you, Madge. She's kind of like my drag aunt. When I first started doing drag, I had a fairly popular queen in town tell me that she took like one look at me, and I guess I pissed her off or something. Hell, I don't know. I'm good about doing that sometimes. She looked at me and was like, your drag is not going to amount to anything. And I was like, okay, I'll show you. So I just went deeper into doing the stuff. That's why I did heavy metal and art, but I love that music. And then I found like female-led metal bands, and I was like, that's the shit I'm doing. Tell me my shit don't stink.
It's time to make this segment dumb, very, very stupid and dumb. Are you ready?
I love good dumb.
With a segment I like to call Dumb and Quick. So this is a little ending game. We love a good ending game.
I swallow. I don't know.
I mean, that's a game as a whole. You'll have 6 questions with 9 seconds each to answer.
Oh God, I get it.
If you don't answer within the allotted time, you have to admit an embarrassing story about yourself.
I'm gonna suck at this.
And if need be, we can call some people to get, an embarrassing story. You ready?
Let's do it.
First question is favorite horror movie.
Ooh, Garbage Pail Kids.
Okay. All right. I can stand by that. Number 2, this is something that I actually wanted to put in there, but I was like, you know what, we'll just throw it at the end. Dragula or Drag Race?
Dragula.
Okay. So are you a Dragula girl?
Yes.
Okay. Have you seen the new season announcement?
I've not seen it. Well, no, I saw it, but I glanced at it.
Yeah.
I will say that I do not.
There's some pretty interesting gray matter. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah,
I love Dragula.
It's the art on that show.
It's
oh
so
my
good.
God, it's amazing.
It's so incredibly good.
I
Season
still
5,
follow Victoria Elizabeth Black.
Yeah.
I love her style.
incredible. Even Big Puddin, like the feel on Puddin. Incredible.
Another one that I just adore.
Mhm.
Like I
And walked in and everyone doubted.
They did, but she's such. I just love it.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, I
Yeah,
love you.
no, Puddin is insanely
Yeah.
talented. I love it. Number 3, best Ghostbusters movie.
Oh, Ghostbusters original without a doubt.
I haven't seen the remake. I'm only the OG girl. I've seen the first remake, but the other ones I have not. Was the 2014? Was that the first remake?
I think it's 2016. It was the one. They call it Ghostbusters Answer the Call, and there's a lot of controversy on that because they call it the female Ghostbusters. Here's the problem with that film: it is not the cast. It's Paul Feig. I don't like Paul Feig. He tries to recreate. Ooh, my real Southern came out just then. I don't like Paul Feig. He's a boring director.
Yeah.
He had that one good hit with Bridesmaids, and he's tried real hard to get it with everything else. You can't do that with Ghostbusters. That was an organic thing.
And that's what I think that's my issue is it's so classic, and the remakes are not.
No. But then there were some great characters there, like Holtzman. Love Kate McKinnon.
I was about to say Kate
She's
McKinnon is
amazing.
yeah.
And I love Melissa McCarthy. She could do anything.
And what was oh my god.
She was Yates.
And what is the black woman from Saturday Night Live?
Leslie Jones.
Yeah.
I love her. They had the cool things. Like they had the gun with the backpack and then the toaster that had the trap. Like I obviously know it's not a toaster. But like as a kid, I would take our household appliances and pretend that may be a toaster to you, but that's a ghost trap to me. Like I just loved all that stuff.
And that's a drag at an early age. So that's exactly what that is. Number 4, pumpkin or pecan pie?
Pumpkin.
Yeah.
I
mean, I like both,
pecans.
but pumpkin is so good. That's the scent when you walked in.
Yeah, I thought so. I was like, this smells like pumpkin pie.
Yeah, she's a basic white girl. Number 5, a favorite local bar.
Favorite local bar? Ooh, I don't really have one.
Not even like to go out and Tin Roof or...
I'll say Ghost Train.
Okay.
Ghost Train Brewery. I like Ghost Train.
They have really good beer.
They do. They have really good beer.
Are you a beer girl?
I'm actually more of a gin girl.
I get like whiskey or gin from you, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I used to be whiskey. Whiskey got me in a lot of trouble. But I like a good gin. Bombay Sapphire is my.
I'm a whiskey sour girl.
Oh, whiskey sours are good.
Yeah,
I like the tartness.
They're the ones that I can do a split with a whiskey sour and not feel it till the next day. That's why I f up with a whiskey sour. Number 6 though, Reese Eve or Cocx?
Reese Eve Cocx.
Ah!
Yeah, that's like our names totally describe who we are. I'm total bottom.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I honestly, the way you like, I guess it's because you're like the horror-y. I don't know. I guess that makes you a little. Yeah. And lastly, where can they follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram. Instagram. TikTok. I'm on TikTok, and obviously on Facebook. You can look me up, not look up me. Look me up on all social media platforms as Reese Eve Cocx, and you'll find me.
And where can they watch the newest? We actually just talked about. This is coming out on, well, obviously, if you're watching this, October 6th.
Yes, October 6th.
And then Friday Night Frights comes out October 4th.
Yeah.
So literally a few days. Where can they watch that?
Y'all can catch Friday Night Frights if you go to www.watchfnf. I'm trying to enunciate it right.
I'm going to have it
think Friday Night Frights. So watchfnf.com. That'll take you to our link tree, and that has all of our social accounts on there for Friday Night Frights. So you can follow Willie, you can follow Nurse Connie. You can follow Friday Night Frights, and it'll take you right to the YouTube page for Friday Night Frights.
Definitely stay tuned for that. Make sure to follow Reese on all of her socials to see those exciting new things, and also to buy some tickets at Aatrox coming up very soon. Aatrox. So gagged that I got to get the perfect person for the Halloween season.
Just to kick off that holiday season.
Yeah, and
I that holiday cheer.
We love a good holiday queer. But yeah, I truly cannot wait to see all of the incredible things to come from you during this Halloween season. It's going to be so much fun. But until then, you can follow me on all of my socials at The Only Preferred for brand new looks and brand new The Preferred Few every first Sunday of the month. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for a brand new video every single Sunday. And as mentioned, a brand new The Preferred Few every first Sunday of the month. As mentioned, you and Sharon, and I mean, even like Victoria Taylor, so many people like, yeah, y'all were like the OGs when I first got to Birmingham. And I feel like so many people have tried to not make that a thing anymore. Yeah. And I will not let that stand. I'm an OG girl. Without the OG girls of your drag scene, where would your drag scene be? Until next time, stay queer, stay preferred, and always stay Ghostbusters!
Oh, and a Pleasant Dreams show.
Yes, I love it.
I mean, I always tell everybody you gotta say it with a deep Southern drawl.
Reese Eve Cocx.
And say it like you're trying to do something. Say it's Reese Eve Cocx. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Oh no, a pothole.
Yeah. Oh my God, a pothole. Girl, I am busier than a three-legged cat trying to cover it up. Ah!